Hello, and thank you for joining. We are MetaScale, the premier provider of big data solutions and services. Today we're going to talk about big data in the healthcare environment, and we're going to emphasize and focus in on real-time analytics. So a lot of big data emphasis traditionally has been on the storage of information, but what about moving the data through the pipeline faster so you can have real-time analytics that you can work with to provide greater care for your customers? So some requirements to focus in on here is essentially delivering time-critical information in real time to improve quality and provide safer care. Additionally, it would be to integrate machine data from medical devices with your master data. There are some technical challenges that we're going to have to dive into in the next slide or so, but the big data ecosystem is now it's increasing in complexity. Because in addition to having your big data framework in place, you now have to enable the real-time capabilities. And this increase in complexity has to be managed very carefully, especially with the explosion of data coming from various smart devices, your Pebbles, your Apple iWatches, and the Internet of Things. The data has to come in and be processed in a very elegant way. So one way to think about real-time remote health monitoring systems is that you have this data coming from a variety of sources, as I had just previously mentioned. Well, this data, when it comes in, it has to be brought in through an API of some sort, traditionally a web API. Then it gets funneled through a Kafka cluster, which essentially creates the queuing mechanism for this data. So you can think of it as water going down a pipe. And so as this data is moving down the pipe, it has to be directed. And when it has to be directed, it gets directed into the Spark engine, which allows for real-time processing using predictive analytics and other type of techniques that essentially can reshape the data a little bit to prepare it for the analytics. Once this data has been brought in through the Spark engine, it can be stored in a Cassandra cluster. And at that point, when it's in Cassandra, then it enables the real-time analytics, and you can attach your dashboarding or whatever type of mechanisms that you want to look at. So when you're thinking about real-time, it's moving from where the data is created, and it's trying to funnel the information directly to the end user in the fastest way possible. This is different than batch processing or streaming, and we're really talking about the real-time processing aspects. There are some very interesting use cases that are enabled through real-time technologies in the healthcare industry. For example, natural disaster emergency care. When you have people who require medical services that time is of the essence, it is absolutely critical to understand where these individuals are, their health characteristics, and be able to monitor them in real time. Additionally, we can also look at hospice care, real-time fraud detection, locating systems, so where individuals are within the hospital framework itself, real-time geospatial analytics, and telemedicine. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are MetaScale, the premier provider of big data services and solutions. We want to be your one-stop big data helpline. If you're interested in our products and services, please feel free to check us out at www.metascale.com or contact us through the telephone number or email address listed below. Thank you very much and have a nice day.